Welcome back to part 2 of the 10 best Knicks free agent signings. Starting off where we left off last time, coming in at number 6, we have Tyson Chandler. When Chandler strutted into New York at the end of 2011, he had just helped the Dallas Mavericks secure an NBA title and arrived in the Big Apple through a sign-and-trade deal. Knicks fans could feel the electricity in the air. This was going to be big. Born and bred in Hanford, California, Chandler was already a legend in the making, widely hailed as one of the NBA's top defensive big men. That first season with the Knicks really showed what Chandler was all about. His defensive skills shone through as he patrolled the paint, blocking shots and pulling down rebounds. It was evident that he was the missing piece, solidifying a Knicks defense that had been less than stellar for years. His efforts didn't go unnoticed. Chandler was awarded the NBA Defensive Player of the Year for the season, confirming his crucial role in reinvigorating New York's defensive play. And Chandler wasn't just a brick wall on defense. The guy had a knack for pulling down rebounds and a smooth touch close to the basket. Remember those pick-and-roll moments with Jeremy Lin during the Linsanity craze? That was Chandler adding another layer to New York's offensive playbook. Flashback to the 2012 to 2013 season. Chandler was the bedrock of New York's defense, and under his watch, the team scooped up the Atlantic Division title, locking in their playoff spot. It wasn't just about big plays, it was about Chandler's leadership and his knack for being in the right place at the right time. Sure, the Knicks didn't quite crack it beyond the second playoff round, but pointing fingers? Not at Chandler. During a time when NBA was all about centers who could lock it down defensively, Chandler was right up there with the best. He could jostle with the big guys down low and still dash around to keep the paint safe. No wonder he snagged the Defensive Player of the Year award in New York and got a nod for the All-Star game. Yeah, injuries threw some wrenches in the mix, cutting his New York chapter short, but there's no denying the mark he left. Chandler was a pro off the hardwood as well. He was respected for his professionalism, work ethic, and leadership in the locker room. His presence helped instill a winning mentality within the team and fostered a sense of unity among the players. All good things must come to an end, right? And for Chandler and the Knicks, that end came in June 2014 when he was traded back to the Dallas Mavericks. And it felt like the heart of New York's defense got ripped out. Trying to fill Chandler's shoes in the subsequent seasons was like trying to patch up a sinking ship with duct tape. But here's the thing about Chandler. He wasn't just another player who passed through Madison Square Garden. He reshaped what it meant to be a Knicks. With him on the court, the Knicks weren't just an offensive team. They were a defensive juggernaut. His tenacity, leadership, and sheer skill were infectious, turning the team into a force to be reckoned with. Number 5. Amare Stoudemire. When Amare Stoudemire stepped onto the hardwood in New York City, it felt like destiny. Here was this Lake Wales, Florida native who had come to the city that never sleeps with a clear mission: to re-energize a fan base that was desperate for a hero. And Amare, he was up for the challenge. Recall those early games where the Madison Square Garden crowd would erupt every time he took flight, soaring above defenders and slamming it home. He was more than just another player. For a time, Amare embodied the spirit of New York basketball. A force in the paint, his rim-shaking dunks and nimble footwork were the talk of the town. You could feel the electricity in the air whenever he touched the ball. Sure, his Phoenix Suns days set him up as an NBA mainstay, but in New York, he became legendary. When Amare Stoudemire took the decision to wear the iconic blue and orange of the New York Knicks, it was more than just another roster move. The city was buzzing with anticipation and hope. For a franchise that had been longing for its return to the spotlight, Stoudemire was seen as the beacon that would guide them there. From the get-go, his influence on the team was evident. The Garden echoed with the chants of MVP as he dazzled fans with his signature moves and ferocious dunks. Amare was a spectacle, a player who could change the course of a game with a single play, a shot, or a block. The Knicks had found their star, and in the 2010 to 2011 season, the entire league took notice. His stats were stellar, but it was his spirit, his drive, and his leadership that truly made the difference. New Yorkers gravitated to Stoudemire's authenticity. Off the hardwood, Amare was just as impactful. His community service spoke volumes of his character, and his larger-than-life persona became a staple in the city's tapestry. Through events, charity work, and simple interactions, he became one of the city's own. But of course, no story is without its challenges. Amare started facing some tough injuries, which messed with his game time and performance. Then, when Carmelo Anthony joined the Knicks, there was a bit of an adjustment period. Melo preferred a mid-range isolation game, which simply didn't mix well with Amare's strengths. Still, given what he was working with, Stoudemire had a damn good career with the Knicks. Despite these setbacks, he remained a respected figure in the locker room and continued to contribute when he was on the court. In 2015, Amare Stoudemire's journey with the Knicks came to an end. He moved on to the Dallas Mavericks, but the mark he left in New York was indelible. Championship ring or not, Amare changed the landscape at MSG. His legacy with the New York Knicks is one of resurgence and hope. His arrival marked a period of excitement and improvement for the franchise, and his impact on and off the court will be remembered by Knicks fans as a pivotal moment in the team's history. Number 4. John Starks. Hailing from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and born on August 10, 1965, his road to the NBA limelight was peppered with hurdles. Despite showcasing his skills at Oklahoma State University, the NBA draft night didn't call his name. He got his NBA break with the Golden State Warriors in 1988, yet it was the streets of New York in 1990 that truly embraced him. The Knicks saw something in Starks when he signed with the team to try out. It wasn't long before the Madison Square Garden faithful latched onto his fervor and tireless work ethic. Starks' iconic stint with New York began with an unexpected twist. As the story goes, during a tryout, Starks tried to posterize the Patrick Ewing. That bold move landed him with an injury, which, weirdly, cemented his place with the Knicks. They couldn't cut an injured player and were forced to keep Starks around. Surprisingly, that turned out to be the best thing to happen to the Knicks. A jack of all trades on the court, Starks could light up the scoreboard, set up his teammates, and lock down opponents defensively. He was a linchpin in the New York lineup, someone who rose to the occasion when the light shone brightest. Do you remember the electricity in the air during the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals against the legendary Chicago Bulls? Starks certainly does. He put up a riveting 25-point performance in Game 1, setting the stage for what would be one of the most iconic moments in Knicks history. In Game 2, Starks soared to the hoop, posterizing none other than Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen with the dunk. A play that didn't just win the game, but immortalized Starks as a Knicks legend. But let's not forget the fiery rivalry Starks was a part of, particularly against Michael Jordan's Bulls and Reggie Miller's Indiana Pacers. What made Starks stand out was his fearless, bulldog-like defense. He was one of the rare few who could get under Jordan's skin, a testament to his relentless intensity. In 1994, Starks played a critical role in the Knicks' journey to the NBA Finals. Sure, he had some rough patches, including a regrettable performance in Game 7, but that shouldn't overshadow the massive impact he had in getting the team that far. On top of that, Starks set an NBA milestone by becoming the first player ever to nail over 200 three-pointers in a single season, adding another feather to his cap. And when Allen Houston joined the Knicks, Starks gracefully transitioned to a bench role. He didn't just warm the bench, he ignited it, bringing his ceaseless energy and earning sixth-man honors along the way. Starks was the epitome of that gritty, never-say-die attitude that defined Knicks basketball in the 90s. And here's the kicker, he was almost not a Knicks at all. Can you believe that? A simple twist of fate, an injury during a tryout, might have seen him released. How different would Knicks history have been without John Starks? And his reach extended beyond the hardwood. The man was a community treasure, not just a player. Fans felt like Starks was one of them, and he returned the love tenfold, connecting deeply with the New York community. His charitable work only solidified that connection, making him even more of a fan favorite. Though he never got that elusive NBA ring, His efforts didn't go unnoticed or unappreciated. Starks was a cornerstone of those bruising Knicks squads that went toe-to-toe with the best in the league. Who can forget the '94 finals run? The Knicks might not have hoisted the trophy, but Starks was instrumental in getting them to that stage. Starks left the Knicks in '98, but made a sentimental return for a brief stint in the 2001-2002 season. It was like a homecoming, a nod to the days when the Garden was rocking and Starks was at the center of it all. And if you ask me, when you talk about the heart and soul of the Knicks, you're talking about John Starks. His journey was a testament of sheer will and grit. In the annals of Knicks lore, Starks stands tall, epitomizing the team's never-back-down spirit, resonating with every Knicks supporter out there. Unfortunately, this is all the time we have for today, but don't forget to tune in to part 3 of the 10 best Knicks free agent signings to see who else makes the list. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section below to give us your thoughts on this list. Click that notification bell to be alerted for more content like this as well.